Hey, what's up, guys? Toogie here, back again with another episode of my Toronto Blue Jays franchise mode series. And today, we begin Season 4. We begin our title defense. The team set, of course, we wrap that up at the end of the last episode. Heading into the season, we're the third-ranked team. A lot more well-rounded, though. We don't have a big power game, but 14th in speed, 1st in contact, 6th in defense, and 7th in pitching. Of course, there is a concern going up against the Red Sox and the Yankees every year, especially as you would have seen. The Red Sox have Clayton Kershaw, of course. But we will do what we can. As you can see there, how we're listed. Right field, we're apparently quite weak, but of course, that's because we have 2 center fielders on the team, and one is playing in right at the moment. So that pretty much covers everything. Of course, the rotation is set up. Jamison Tyon will be the ASAC. Eflin will start in the second spot. Lamet, Wood, and Liriano round out the rotation. Lester Martin is our long reliever. And of course, this bullpen is still looking pretty damn good with Givens, Hicks, Arano, Reed, and then Hendricks as the setup man. With Sean Doolittle as the closer, I'm a little bit concerned over that, but we'll see how it goes. And then lineup-wise, this is pretty much how we're shaping up, with Ender and Ciarte starting out in right. Francisco Miella has to be the 2-hitter. He is now expecting to be a star, so we have to play him in one of those top 2 spots, and we are as a result. Hoskins Jr., of course, round out the top 4. And we have LeMahieu, Herrera, Duffy will get a chance on this team. If he slips up, Urena or Arias, they're right there and good to go. Bo Bichette and Jake Marisnick, one of our big free agent signing for this past season. Whenever we're playing without a DH, we end up moving Hoskins to first, Junior to third, and it's Matt Duffy who ends up taking the seat on the bench. So that is how the team is shaping up. And actually, down in AAA, I didn't get a chance to sort these out, actually, but you know what? It's looking okay. Of course, we do have some strong prospects that we're hoping will end up developing, particularly with the starting pitching. Things are looking pretty good, actually. Although, why? Hold on, we got something to figure out. Why are we so short in AAA? Yeah, we're just 2 players short in AAA. Well, shit. Why is that? We need to call up 2 position players. Let's see who we have here. AA roster. Who are 2 position players that we can call up? Closer, we would have been good. Armenteros, we would have been good. I think I just outright have to sign 2 infielders, perhaps. We should have been okay. Apparently not. So McGrath will move you up to double. Delabate will move you up to triple. And let's see, Jimmy Benitez. Congratulations, you go to double, and as a result, Bromberg will go to triple. And that problem is solved. Quick and easy. No problem. Before we get into simming, we of course have to worry about scouting. Now here's the thing, we of course have a pretty well-rounded team. There's not one spot where we have to worry, so we are going to continue to try and be as well-rounded as possible. Although international-wise, slightly problematic in that they're not great at scouting position players, so I wouldn't expect us to find any strong position players in this upcoming draft. But I'm just going to try to be as general as I can, and just in terms of having everyone scout out the same thing and hopefully get through it as quickly as possible. We'll give it 2 days per every scouting request. So let's do this. We're good to go. The team is set. Our title defense begins with back-to-back 5-6 losses to the Boston Red Sox. Not what you would have hoped for from our two go-to pitchers there. Of course, we let go of Chris Sale. He ended up getting us some compensation that we'll see in this draft as we lose 3 out of 4 to Boston to begin this season. Certainly not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but it is early. We have a long way to go. Hopefully we can turn things around. That would be heartbreaking for us to win the World Series. We're underway on a new contract, and now for us to just absolutely fall apart, that would be devastating, as we're 2-5 to begin the season. I'm excited, though, to see what the compensation ends up looking like here, though, and just how many picks we end up getting. Of course, we lost Brad Hand as well, and we'll be getting compensation for him leaving the club, as we've taken 3 out of 4 so far against the Yankees. We're looking pretty good so far. A nice bounce back series. And like I said, obviously, starting off the season the way we did, not ideal, as Art Matheny We'll just have the game take care of that for us. We take 3 out of 4. Not too shabby. Obviously, starting off the season with those losses against the Red Sox weren't ideal, but it's okay. It's early on. It's not going to rock our confidence too much, damn it. We're the defending champions. We should be able to shake off a couple of early losses, and we're already back to 500, so there you go. I'm not saying I had to mute the mic because I had to sneeze, but that's definitely what happened, probably. As we need to take a look at velocity among lefty pitchers. Of course, I am a little bit worried about the discovery rating of Biden and the efficiency of Bonds, but we haven't ended up with the best scouts thus far. There we go, we're good with pitchers. As far as catchers go, let's go arm strength and fielding to begin. Like I said, hopefully we can have ourselves another fairly solid draft here. That's going to be the key. Yeah, we've won, and we won mainly off of the back of trades, but now it's up to us, it's up to me to continue to find some strong players in the draft to help make up for the fact that we're eventually going to have to lose some of these players, and perhaps sooner rather than later. So we've apparently already discovered all of the catchers available in the Western region, which seems a little bit ridiculous to me, but there you go. Let's go fielding and speed on the infield. We'll go power and contact. Apparently all the wow, okay, this is not going to be a good draft for catchers, apparently. That's a good thing to make note of. It's a good thing we don't have an extreme need for a catcher. Only 2 regions are currently going to be, or 2 scouts are currently going to be looking for catchers, as we lose Jake Marisnick to injury. He's going to be out for a week or 2. Of course, we do have Delino DeShields ready to step in and replace him, and that is exactly what has happened in the lineup, which is looking good. Mia's up to an 89 right now, but boy is he struggling in that higher role, which, give or take. The funny thing is, status right now is listed as every day, despite him being in top 4 in one of those star roles, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. I'm going to leave him there for the moment, just because it's not the biggest concern. We'll go one more day here. Let's go ahead and sim that. We have another series against Boston here. Power and contact's good. We'll go infield, fielding and speed. Infield, power and contact. Infield, power and contact. And for catchers, actually infield, fielding and speed. Boy, that's not going to get confusing for me at all. Lester Martin goes down with an inflamed nerve. Hopefully we don't need to call anybody up, as we apparently cannot beat the Boston Red Sox, as we have discovered early on in this season. Not sure what's going on there, but hopefully we can overcome these early struggles. Arm strength and fielding there, and power and contact. Let's see, can we beat Boston? Hey, 11-1. So 8 games thus far against Boston. We have 2 wins. I've said not ideal a fair bit this episode already, but I feel like it's fitting. I feel like it's fitting because that is not what we're looking for, as all the outfielders have been discovered in the West as well. Man, it's not going to be a solid draft here apparently. Let's take a look here. Is there anybody in the West? Normally I'd try to line that up. I don't think I care. Let's start by looking at position players here, because we know that we're pretty much already good to go in terms of pitchers. So we'll have him scout Dahl. And outfield wise, let's go speed and contact, and you can go outfield, arm strength and fielding. We'll have them on those roles as we beat Cleveland in the first game. Marisnick's also back, as is Lester Martin. Puts Marisnick right back in the lineup. That's perfect. Puts Martin right back as the long reliever. Perfect. Thank you very much for keeping everything the way I wanted it to be. Let's go speed and contact there. Let's see, we don't have a full report yet on Dahl, but he dropped down to a 70. We'll take a look at Woodall, good old Roger Woodall. Let's go power and contact there, and you can go speed and contact. So far, so good, aside from our losing record and the fact that we just lost 3 out of 4 for the second straight series. That's not ideal by any means, but that's okay. How many times am I going to say that's not ideal? That's just my go-to today. I don't know what it is. I have complained about this in every other video, but I swear to God, Just the fact that every day for the past week, it's been 90 plus degrees in this room as I try to record. It's messing with my head. It's melting my brain. It is. It's awful. It's just not fun. As Grantham is 21, he won't be ready until he's 25. We'll avoid that. Stephen Byrne, though, as I accidentally hit the wrong button. That's always good. We'll take a look at Steve. Actually, we'll focus on 80s for the moment. Let's go to Ruben Betts, as I continue to just hit the wrong button constantly. That's good. Let's go to Ruben Betts. Power and contact, so Biden can start looking at outfielders. He'll take a look at Tony Thomas. I keep hitting the wrong button. It's incredible. And we'll go power and contact there for our final bit of scouting. Alex Julio goes down to an injury. We're at 11 and 17. Might have to take a look at the lineup here in a moment. So power and contact. So we're good. Everybody can now focus on actually scouting out the players that we found. So let's see. 21, 4+ years away. We don't have to worry about that. 21, 4+ years away. Don't have to worry about that. We'll take a look at Julio Parra. We'll take a look at Richard Parrish, or Rich Parrish. David Beebe is already quite promising. And Tony Thomas, we might as well get that full report on. And let's see, anybody else in the outfield? Let's take a look at Tadhito Kimura. What a name. So let's see, Jamison Tyon has been brutal so far. Zach Eflin has been just okay. Denilson Lamet's been amazing. Wood's been just okay, and Liriano's also been quite terrible. Lester Martin's been okay as a long reliever. Givens has been great. Jordan Hicks has been terrible. Absolutely terrible thus far. Arano's been terrible. Reed, oh my god, Hendricks. Reed's been good. Hendricks has been terrible. Doolittle's been okay. What's Doolittle's biggest complaint right now? Money, team performance, and individual performance. Right. Oh boy, everything's coming crashing down all of a sudden. Alright, so Addison Reed needs to be the setup man because Hendricks has been terrible. He's been the worst one. I mean, granted, only 7 innings pitched. And I know, Arano, 6 innings pitched for a reliever. It's not a ton. But still, it's been a rough go for this team so far. Lineup-wise, are we on an off day? We're not, and we're not going to have an off day for a while to try and sort this out, unfortunately. Lineup-wise, Inciarte has been pretty good. What's his on-base percentage as our leadoff guy? 328's solid. Miea hasn't been tremendous. Hoskins hasn't been tremendous. Junior has been pretty good. Right. All right, Miea, I don't think we can really afford to worry about your feelings at the moment. We have to worry about this club more than anything. And taking a look here, Herrera's been great, but I do wonder if putting him into a more ideal role, if that would kind of shake things up in a negative way. I wouldn't be against him being the leadoff man. You know what? I got to do it. Let's go Herrera, LeMahieu, Junior, Hoskins, and Ciarte. Whoops, Junior, Hoskins, and Ciarte. From there, let's see, 260 with a 302. Pretty much 260 with a 330. And Marisnik struggling. So we will... Let's make those changes. Miea is going to be dropped to the 9 spot, which is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Actually, I wanted to look at Inciarte again. Again, a 330 on base. Herrera might be the better guy to put there. Not as big of a steal threat, but still he's all right. I think that might be the target for the moment. Urena doesn't have that many at-bats, but he's doing quite well. Same for Lino. I think that's going to be the new order for the moment. So Herrera, LeMahieu, again, will be leading off. Put Junior in the 3 spot, and Ciarte. Bichette, Marisnik, and Miea will make these changes. Hope it can spark something with the team, and we'll take a look at the rotation at the next given opportunity that we can. And we want Bichette ahead of Duffy. So yeah, the next chance we get, we'll take a look at maybe changing up the rotation, just because right now it would kind of complicate things and we'd be doubled up with starters and they wouldn't get a full start, and that could really negatively affect their current stats. So hopefully Miea doesn't overreact to the fact that we've, dropped him significantly. So we lose to Seattle. We do beat Oakland. So 12 and 18 on the season thus far. Certainly Not what we were hoping for when we started this season. Let's take a look in left. 22 4+ years away, 18 4+ years away. Frank De La Rosa is worth looking at. Again, right now we're only going to scout the 80s, and then we'll focus on other players. Eric Batista's 25, and it's going to be ready in 2 years. Yeah, I think we'll pass. Rich Asensio, though, is worth looking at, and Yoki, not so much. 2 years away. Actually, that's 3 years away for Maria. We'll avoid that. We will take a look at Joe Sorvala, though. Why not? So let's see. As we approach the end of April here, Urena goes down to an injury. We'll keep him active. We beat Oakland 10-8. Follow that up with a loss. Taken 2 out of 3 thus far, though. And let's see. Scouting-wise, again, anybody in left that we didn't focus on before? The answer is no. At shortstop, again, nobody there. At third, Aoki will avoid. Maria will avoid. Cardenas will avoid. Not looking too good here. Nino Camacho, though, and Andy Wales, both looking pretty good. Bruntlett, again, he's, 3 years away at this point at 21. We'll look to find somebody better here. We'll take a look at Dominguez. I mean, at least he's 20 and 4 years away. Slightly better odds that he'll end up being better. And we'll take a look at Nelson Batista. Might not be the best draft coming up. We split the series against Oakland and start off the series against Kansas City with a win. We're at 14 and 20, 7 games back of the Yankees. The Red Sox struggling as well, despite that ridiculous pitching staff, which is honestly surprising. Best team in baseball right now, the Dodgers at 24 and 8. You think they want revenge for losing in the World Series? Best team in baseball thus far as we reach May 1st. Damn. As, you know what, actually here, let's take another look here. So, Batista, I want a full report on you. Diluski will want a full report on Hugh Noonan. This could be a really good draft for catchers from the looks of it. Luis Silva, we will avoid, however, 22, 3 years away. We'll pass. So let's focus on some pitchers now. And Ronnie Mario will be the first guy that we take a look at. Next 2 games against Kansas City. And we split that series. Actually, no, we took 2 out of 3. I thought that was a 4-game series. It feels like every game has been, or every series has been a 4-game series. Apparently not. Now will be our opportunity, though, to maybe change up the rotation. So let's see. Andreas Cruz we'll take a look at. Reggie Upshaw, you're 2 years away at 22. That's okay. We have Tim Farley and Arturo Alfonso will be the next 4 that we scout out. Let's take a look at the rotation. So Jamison Tyon's still been pretty bad. Eflin's struggling a bit. Dinelson Lamet's killing it, so we'll bump him up. Oh boy. Yeah, this pitching staff is just not getting it done right now, to say the least. Alex Wood, we had concerns about him last year. It's time for him to go. We had concerns about him last year. It is time for him to go. Do we have a built-in replacement? Murillo isn't ready, so no, we don't. So we're going to need to find a trade partner for Alex Wood. And actually here, you know what? Let's take a look at the rest of the team. Liriano's still struggling. He still has potential, though. I think we'll keep him there, but I'm not too happy about it. Lester Martin hasn't been tremendous. I mean, the ERA is rough, but the whip's pretty good, which is what we mainly are concerned about for relievers. So Wood has to go. I think we'll go Lamet, Eflin, Tyon, Liriano. We need to find a replacement for Alex Wood. Let's see what we can find here. Again, I think ideally we'd bring in another starting pitcher. And to be honest, yeah, bullpen-wise, too. I mean, Jordan Hicks still has potential. Does he have any... yeah, we can't send him down, either. Unfortunately, we can't send him down. So, we have the option of leaving him here and hoping that he turns it around, or we just get rid of him now. But he is struggling to a horrific extent. Arano, as well, hasn't been that great. Might want to get rid of him as well, just because I highly doubt he's going to improve by that much more. Oh, who the hell could we even trade Alex Wood for at this point? Like, I'm trying to find somebody else that we could package with him to make this trade easier, but it's not looking good for us here. Duffy's at least been okay. No reason to get rid of him at the moment. I think we're just going to have to find another starting pitcher. So, let's take a look around, shall we? And in terms of what the hell we can get, that's funny. That's like, oh, we think you should be offering us more, even though I have the value there. Let me pause. I'll try to find a trade for Alex Wood here, because it might take a while. All right, so I have my 3 main targets here, and actually I was mistaken before when I said, oh, Hoffman, it's more value for me, or for them. It's like, no, it was more value for me. I just completely misread that for a minute. Funny thing, though, Dinelson Lamet right now is leading the majors in ERA with a 1.71, so I don't think I'm praising him enough when I said he's been great. He has been one of the best pitchers in baseball, arguably the best pitcher in baseball thus far. Funny enough, Jeff Hoffman is also up there with a 2.38 ERA, and he is looking to be one of our targets. The other one would be Lucas Giolito, who, in fairness, we ran a White Sox series on Twitch earlier this year. We ended up getting rid of him, and he turned into a 99 overall monster. Don't think he's looking to do that in this series, but still, he could be a strong option. And the third guy is on the Minnesota Twins, that being Eric Geronimo, the 23-year-old. So as far as the value difference, Geronimo looked to have been about the same. Giolito, all right, so all 3 are looking to be about the same in terms of what we're looking at here. Lester Martin I could send down if I wanted to, or Liriano. I'm tempted to get 2 out of 3. I am tempted to get 2 out of 3, and we'll send down either Liriano or Martin to AAA. Let them kind of develop a little bit more and look to bring them back next season. So Giolito is in the final year of his deal. Geronimo also in the final year of his deal. That's not really a surprise. And Hoffman, same thing. Both are going to be, or all of them are going to be looking for significant raises. Hoffman's a 77, playing like an 82 right now. And again, that 2.38 ERA. Giolito's a 79 with a 2.53. And Geronimo is a legit 78. So it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Youngest as well. Decent ERA. I think Geronimo has to be one of the targets. If I'm going to, whether or not I can afford to get all 3, I'm not sure yet. Or 2 out of 3, I'm not sure yet. But we are still going to try. Is there anybody where it makes sense to kind of tack them on that would actually have some half-decent value to pull off a trade? Geronimo, at the very least, is the number 1 target, I'd say. He hasn't had the best season, but he could be good for the future. And, of course, he would just add to a tremendous amount of depth that we already have. Jacob Gonzalez would be all right. Man, this just sucks that we have to look to do this. It's either this, or we trade Alex Wood for a prospect not named Geronimo, and we look to call up somebody before they're ready, which is not ideal, obviously. So, oh boy. Alberto's could work. And even then, wow, it's so close. Alberto's would work. Is there anybody else where it makes sense to tack them on? What about, is Woodyard enough? He's not. Is Ramirez enough? He's not. Williams? No. As a party, also no, even though it's like completely fair as of that offer. Gonzalez isn't enough. Pedro Santos would be enough. 19C and a 64. Not a bad prospect by any stretch of the imagination, but we do have someone like Zach Cassidy who's a little bit further developed. Does this make sense? Alex Wood, Jose Albertos. So, we'd be getting rid of quite a bit of salary here. We would have to give up a prospect who, in fairness, it's not, actually, I think it would make more sense to get rid of a Braxton Garrett, which they're interested in. Looking at a 23B. Is there anybody else? Actually, Robbie Brandt would be the best guy to get rid of. They don't have the same amount of interest, obviously. But we'll see if I can make this work. Would Poulsen work? He wouldn't. Art Matheny probably would. Wow, he wouldn't either. Oh, boy. Right. Would this be the right time to get rid of Tyler Stevenson? Just to use him. We have Reed Hernandez coming up. I think that would make sense. So Eric Geronimo for a highly struggling Alex Wood and his ridiculous salary. A prospect in Robbie Brandt, who's probably not going to develop. And Tyler Stevenson, who's kind of been overtaken on the depth chart. We know that would work for Geronimo. Would it work for... I mean, Hoffman's 28. And again, is only a 77. I like Geronimo just for the... the thought of what he could be in the future and the fact he's already doing this well. I'm gonna take this deal. I'm gonna take this deal, and I think it'll just be that straight swap. Everything else about the rotation is gonna stay the same. We acquire Geronimo, and we are also now going to need to sign a free agent catcher, just to sort that out. We're looking for someone who's only looking for 1 year, ideally. Robinson Chirinos, actually. I'm not against it. He wants platoon role, though. It's like, you're insane. Johnny Manel would be perfect. There we go. We'll bring him in for the rest of the season. So we'll have Hernandez in AAA. We'll have Manel in double. Not in MLB. Oh, well, shit. Now Manel's on waivers. That's fine. Whatever. I don't really understand why you'd have to go through waivers, but it's all good. So we're looking okay. I mean, bullpen-wise, we're not. I mean, obviously, bullpen-wise, there are some players who are struggling to pretty crazy extents, but I think it might just be for the best to leave them, and leave this team as is for the moment, and try to move on from there. So we're going to bump up Geronimo to be behind Denilson Lamet, and Liriano or Martin. I think I'm going to give Lester Martin a chance in the starting rotation. We'll drop Liriano to the bullpen. And then obviously, again, I mean, Jordan Hicks, Arano, we have some, obviously we have some players that have been just very poor. I'm trying to be nice about it, right? I'm trying to be nice about it, because I swear the games can hear me and they're gonna be like, oh, we'll show you poor play from your players. We'll see how this goes, but obviously right now the chance of us ending up, we still have a long way to go. But the chance of us ending up where we want to be, in terms of being close to contention and trying to make it back to the playoffs and maybe trying to go for consecutive titles, that's looking a lot less likely. A lot less likely. As my neighbor, I don't know if that's going to be picking up, but my neighbor decided, hey, it's a good time to mow the lawn, which it is. It's kind of a nice day out, but still, I'm not sure how loud that's going to be. And if it is, I'm going to have to pause this recording, which is going to just piss me off more than anything. We'll keep looking at Cruz. We'll take a look at Midacek. Washington is 24 plus years away. We'll avoid him. Cordova is there. Trent Paris. There's some decent pitching options here, and of course catchers seem to be of a high priority in this draft as well. 17 and 22 on the year. I still want that full report on Cruz. Obviously Bonds' efficiency rating isn't helping out too much here, but we're doing what we can. Washington and Cruz both being 4+ years away. You know what? Let's at least take a look at them. Let's take a look at them and see what we're dealing with. So we're going to be spending a lot of time on pitching staff here, I can tell, as we are 24 days away from the draft, and we haven't even looked at starting pitching yet, actually. So, but we do have some decent idea of, we do have a decent idea on how. I can't talk today. We do have a pretty decent idea on how a lot of these players are going to be shaping up. Obviously, quite a few yellow bars there, so we at least have some information on quite a few of these guys. We'll take a look at Anders, Chavez, Coppola, and Rucker will avoid. 21, 4+ years away. But David, not Naquin, I imagine it would be. We'll take a look at. So, oh boy, there we go. DJ LeMahieu out for a month or two with a broken arm. Not good. Not good. Obviously, Urena's there. He'll be the replacement. But that is a disastrous injury for us, as we're going to need to look to call up an infielder here. Just in relief. Julio's on the DL. Art Matheny's kind of killing it right now. I don't know if we want to call him up and just have him sit there, but looks like that's going to be the best move. So Art Matheny, congratulations. You're being called up to the majors. And then let's see, for second baseman, Ota can go up to AAA, and Walker can go up to double, just to get the perfect 25-man setup there. So Lamelson down to a 2.25 ERA. Geronimo's still killing it right now, which is amazing. Eflin's still getting closer to that 4.0. Tyen's getting closer, but in a much better way. And Martin at a 3.91 ERA with 23 innings of work. Bullpen-wise, Arano is starting to settle down a bit. Hicks, it's getting a little bit better, kind of. And obviously we still have some guys. Sean Doolittle, Jesus. Not good. Addison Reed's going to be the new closer. There's a decent chance that we are going to just be blowing it up here. I'd say there's a real decent chance of that happening. As I think we'll have Urena at the bottom of the order. Just as he tries to work his way into the lineup. Easy swap with him and Inciarte. But at least we have someone who is more than capable of stepping into the lineup. Of course, we saw what Urena was able to do in the playoffs last year. But we are definitely getting closer to perhaps kind of blowing things up a little bit. And looking at that, again, a different version of a rebuild on the fly. Which is what led us to success in the first place. So, let's see. We'll take a look at Quiroz or Kieras, perhaps. And George Little. I've never said I was good with names. Never said I was good with names. As we win the first game against Philly. Quick 2-game series. Getting closer to 500 again. Thankfully. No other 80s to look at that are worth it. We'll continue to focus on starting pitchers here. Because this could also be a very good draft for starters. You see how many players are listed here. There's a lot of potential. I'm not going to be able to scout out as many people as I wanted, namely like 75s. But, you know, when there are this many 80s again, and if we're focused on an 80 and they drop to a 75, case in point with a lot of these relievers, we'll at least have some idea of how good they are. Let's take a look at De Jesus. We'll take a look at Zamora and Garcia. Looks like it could be a really good year for pitching and for catchers, of course, as we previously saw. See, so Little's a legitimate 80. Ramos, 4 years away at 21, no thank you. We'll take a look at McClellan and Gradeville. Klein will avoid. Take a look at Sean Bloom. And Zamora's 3 years away at 22. We'll avoid looking at the getting a full report on him. We'll take a look at Derek Gant, as we are 17 days out from the draft. And Zach Cassidy breaks his hand. He'll be out for 2 to 3 months. The injury bug has not been kind to us, really in almost a calendar year now, from the whole Chris Sale debacle, and now, of course, likes of DJ LeMahieu being injured. Really hasn't been that kind to us. Let's get a full report on Zamora and Gant, and we'll take a look at Valenzuela as well. We still have a couple of 80s to scout out here, as we're going to be under 2 weeks away from the draft. By the time we sim the second day, LeMahieu's still going to be out for a month or two. We do complete the sweep, though, of the Angels, including an 11-0 victory. Jameson Tyen gets the W there. That brings us back up to a 500 record, which obviously I'm quite happy about. We'll take a look at Bartolo Estrada, Jeffrey Okada, and Sanchez. And from there, we'll get to focus on some 75s, which, again, you talk about what we're in the biggest need of. Really, what would that be? Outfield-wise, we have Blackburn, we have Gonzalez, Mickey Moniak still in the system, Santana, Armenteros. I don't think we got to worry about the outfield. Shortstop-wise, Ferris and Garcia, not to mention we're pretty young in that position. I don't think we need to worry. Third base, ideally we could find somebody else. Second base, I'd say, as well. First base, catching. All right, so definitely infield and pitching. I'd really say relief pitching more than anything. Might be our biggest concern. I think that's what I'm going to focus on in terms of scouting through 75s, just to get a full report. And then we'll focus Well, I mean, then again, we do have some information on quite a few of them already. No, we got to focus on this. I was thinking about, what of a first baseman, but really I was looking at it quickly. The only guy to take a look at would be Henry Palmeiro, which, I mean, at least in terms of a higher potential, again, there's a 70 that we could scout out who could end up being an 80. You never quite know. And that's the thing, you got to pick and choose. And when we're scouting out everybody instead of scouting for need, when we're just looking for the best players available, we can run into a little bit of trouble, of course. Let's take a look at Evan Mims, I guess. We'll still go for the relievers. And at this point, I don't even know if we're going to get to the draft in this episode. Villalobos will auto-handle that. Let's take a look here. So starting pitchers, we are good to go, and there are a couple of 80s. We still need to get a full report on Okada. And let's see, relievers. 21, 4+ years away. 22, 20 and 4+ years away. Let's see, we'll take a look at Donnie Diaz. We will try to get a full report on Trent Paris and further information on Richie Chavez. Let's see, as we lose that series to Seattle, I can hear my neighbor winding up a goddamn weed whacker. So yeah, I might end this just because I don't want to have to sit here and wait for him. The yards are relatively close together. It's a pain in the ass. And for where these windows are, it's a pain in the ass. But that's okay. So Okada dropped down to a 75. That's all right. There are at least 3 pitchers or 2 in Hernandez, but more specifically George Little, that for a starting pitcher, we should absolutely target. Coppola, we won't take a further look at. Let's take a look at Peter Takatsu. Further information on Barack Blake. Eddie Anders will avoid. Alfaro will get a little bit more information on. And let's take a look at Chris Thomason. Interesting name there, Chris Thomason. The draft is in 9 days. So we win the first 2 games against Oakland. Not a bad way to bounce back. We have a winning record at 28 and 27. Is this the first time all year that we've had a winning record? I'm pretty sure that it is. It's not a good look for us as defending champions. Let's get another look at Alfaro. 20 Coppola, why not? Let's get another look at you. Eddie Anders will avoid. Cordova and Washington. Let's get a full report on you guys as we are a week away from the draft. Geronimo will keep him active. Picks up an injury there. We took 2 out of 3 against Oakland, and we start off that series with the Yankees, or against the Yankees, with a win. We'll avoid you guys. Coppola is still at a 75. You know what? At this point, we're not going to go for that full report. Upshaw will avoid. Let's take a look at Frank Morales. Take a look at David Naquin. Lou Hurley. And a full report, hopefully, on Evan Mims. As we're just going to go all out in scouting these relievers until the draft, as we took 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. Not bad. It is a 4-game series, of course. And we'll see what happens in that final game once we get this scouting set up yet again. So let's see. Who do we have here? Let's take a look at Rodriguez. Just looking back through some of these other names. We'll go for Rodriguez. We'll go for Giorgio or Gregorio Silva. Anybody else? 470s. Peter Takatsu. And the dog is going insane. Give me a minute. This is the episode that just doesn't want to be recorded. Let's see who else we can find here, if anybody, for half-decent relievers. There's got to be someone, right? Like, Hernandez isn't terrible. No, I think that's pretty much it. Did we ever get the full report on that first baseman? We did, and it wasn't looking that good. No, we didn't. We didn't take a look at Palmeiro. Let's take a look at him, as we are 3 days away. This is pretty much our last big bout of scouting as we split that series with the Yankees. We have a quick 2-game series against the Red Sox. We're back to 30 and 30. We're at 500 at this point. And I think the final thing we'll do here, as we have a little bit of info on Rodriguez, we'll get a full report on him. And we'll take a look at any of the closers that may be half decent. 2023, so 2 years away at 24, we'll avoid you. 2 years away at 18, we'll take a look at Murillo. We'll take a look at... Is there anybody else half decent? Not really. So we pretty much have our info on relievers. I think we're looking pretty good. All right, between barking dogs and neighbors mowing their lawn, this is the episode that just hasn't wanted to be completed. But regardless, we should hopefully have about 5 minutes of quiet to be able to finish what we're doing here. I don't know if I should set it up for starting pitchers, but that is what we are going to do. A couple of people are back from injury, and once we sim past this game against the Red Sox, it'll be draft time. But for all these crazy reasons, we're going to save that for the next episode. We are one game above 500. We are going to start the next episode with the way we began this one, a matchup against Clayton Kershaw and the Boston Red Sox. But obviously, this is not the way we expected the season to go thus far. We're at 31-30, 8.5 games back of the Yankees in the division. Now, we do have plenty of time to turn it around, and of course, we'll hope to do that with the draft. But beyond that, again, looking at what has been going on this season, Dinelson Lamet's been very good this year, even if the ERA has started to drop. Diego Liriano has been pretty good as a starter, actually. The game put him back as a starter over Martin, and I'm okay with that. Eflin's been okay, not great. He's been okay. Jameson Taillon, the ERA has dropped a bit, and Eric Geronimo, oh boy, fortunately it started to slip a little bit for him. But we needed to get Wood out of there, just for the fact that we were paying him as much as we were. And worst comes to worst, we could actually drop Eric Geronimo to the minors if we wanted to. Worst comes to worst, maybe swap him with Lester Martin. So let me know what you think there as far as the starting pitching goes. But I think for the moment, we are okay. I am leaning closer to saying, hey, if we're still kind of looking poor around certain, maybe a certain deadline, that it might be worth making certain moves. And actually, are we on a day off? We're not, but we have a day off after this. So what I'm going to do is I think we will put Taillon back in that ace role. Although, Lamet expects to be the ace. So Taillon, you're kind of screwed there. But we'll put you in the second spot. Have Eflin, Liriano, and Geronimo for the moment. Bullpen-wise, Michael Gibbons is having another strong season. Jordan Hicks still struggling. Victor Arano still not great. Liam Hendricks still not great. Sean Doolittle still not great. And Addison Reed has been okay. So this bullpen needs a lot of work. We went younger, giving guys like Hicks and Arano a chance. That has not paid off in the slightest. Whether or not we want to completely rework that bullpen, I'm not entirely sure, but the option is there. Adubel Herrera has been okay. The on-base percentage is solid. Not as good as he was last year, but 9 home runs, 20 RBIs, no complaints. And Ciarte's still a beast. Junior is a beast. Rhys Hoskins, only 8 home runs. Only 8 home runs. He's an 87 playing like an 83 because of his performance level and the fact that he is underpaid. So that is a little bit concerning. Bo Bichette, doing very well, 33 RBIs for him. Matt Duffy, a return to form. Again, he failed us in the postseason, but he's doing quite well. Marisnik at the plate has been very underwhelming, especially when you look at what he did last year. Might have to make a look at an adjustment there, although, of course, for the fielding that he brings to the team, is it worth keeping him? Mia's recovered from a slow start, and Urena's done extremely well coming into the lineup, replacing DJ LeMahieu. DeShields only has 4 stolen bases thus far this season. Of course, he's going to be extremely unhappy. We could still look at trading him, although, of course, that would take away a speed threat on the base paths as far as a pinch running option. So we have some question marks about this team. There's no doubt. Certain things need to change. It's just when do we make those changes? How drastic of changes do we make? As we, of course, like I said, the goal of the season, stay competitive after winning the World Series. But if we wanted to kind of take a step back, this would be the year to do it. And then hopefully by year 3, we'd be right back into a competitive way. That'll do it for this one, though. Looking forward to your comments as far as what we should look to do moving forward. I'm excited for it, though, because despite the team underperforming, we're in an interesting spot where, once again, the right moves at the wrong time, the wrong moves at the right time, and the wrong moves in general could be extremely costly for us moving forward. Thank you for watching. You know the deal. Support the video. Support the channel. I love you all. I love your face. I'll see you next time.